There's a couple questions I'd like to address here on the grounds of the lawsuit. I think about it all the time because it sounds impractical to the nature of which it stands, which would be that the lawsuit is inferring that, in fact, that a man's lawyer came per a case, one case that was violated, and I guess on the grounds of a good Samaritan. I don't know. He just totally chose to pick up the other cases. And what I'm saying to that is that's a falsified imprint. Like that's obviously not something. You telling me there was no other lawsuits where some other lawyer could have done that in this county? I mean, some of these lawsuits are talking about very, very specific things. The man's lawsuit was about him posting information, not or not limited to, but it was about posting information of falsified natures to find a remedy to illegal natures in a case that would be against the defendant. But the problem would be the argument I have though is that it doesn't make any sense that a man's lawyer would pick up the case. It would be like saying that. I guess it would be like saying that. I guess it would be like saying that every time somebody's rights are violated, the lawyer has an option but actually chooses not to, more times than not, to defend, you know, defendants across the world. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of money in it, even if you talk to people. You can't imagine how much work a lawyer can make for himself under this consideration, where he could just walk up to somebody and take on their case, take on the cases that relate to that case across the board. That's almost a permission he doesn't have. He'd have to get all sorts of signatures to do that. You can't just pick up your case for obvious reasons. They've infected people's cases, but they want you to believe that because anything you'll believe they could do. The truth is, it has nothing to do with what they're doing in a courtroom. You give them the power of God if you allow them to believe that they have the power to do what they want with you in a courtroom. And that's what changed with me. I've just known now. I just know that I have the power above them. To I am literally above their law. Their law is not a law that stands under my God. It's not a real law. It's like Sharia law. It doesn't exist to me. I'm not in that. The only reason this has gone on is because it's their way of outstanding rights and doing something to adjudicate or at least persecute you for catching them in the wrong they were doing. That's what this is all about. That's what that standoff was about. That's what it's all about. They tell them to do it. They just do what they're told. But the county has enough money to fight any lawsuit because of our money going into it that you might come at them with. They don't mind dealing with a lawsuit because Bucks County is rich. Or well, it's getting different now. They used to be rich. Now they're starting to lose a lot of money due to things like these lawsuits and nature's in and around them. So that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the standoff and the last stand for people who don't or can't afford lawyers and can't afford to struggle to read and write and whatever have you. They take those guys, they ball them all up and they get rid of them. They usually do something like put them in cells, kill them, whatever. But that's what Bucks County does. And when they have people who speak out, they hate them because they were planning to do that to them and then they couldn't. And there's always one or two. There's always some. There's always a few. There's always somebody who's going to stand up for the rights of people. Because we're people, so it's going to happen. Maybe not more often than not, because a lot of times you have peer pressures and powers that be that play the torque game and will torque you illegally to get a result of your fear. And when you don't have fear, well, you have the power. If you don't have fear, as long as you're respectful. I mean, I border lines of respect, and I do like to apologize. But this has been going on for so long that it's at the point where it's more than frustrating. It's past tense tiring, and so I'm dealing with them on another level now because I also gave them the opportunities to change it. I came to this courthouse a lot of time. Of course, I was addressing these issues before they ever got serious enough to go into a federal lawsuit. But yeah, this is a federal lawsuit that we're talking about. This is, as I showed you before in the first video, which you can revert to on October 1st. The video of October 1st was where the fairness hearing was, where it's disclosed in the paperwork that it's a federal hearing. I don't write this stuff up. Actually the Seventh District of Judicial Court did, and it's a federal courtroom, and it's talking about the issues of federality and then the court and that sort of thing. So it is what it is until it becomes what we make it.